Hello everyone, welcome back. Are you over the referendum? Or are you wondering whether or not Australians will show up for their democracy sausage on referendum day? It seems that without a doubt Australians will vote in record numbers on or before 14 October. The rolls closed on 18 September, so if you are eligible to vote and you haven't enrolled, sorry, but it's too late. The rolls closed and the AEC has even started to take in votes. But in amongst all this, the news from the Australian Electoral Commission is that voter enrolment is at an all-time high. The AEC has announced that a record number of eligible Australians are enrolled to vote in the referendum. Now the figures are just over 17.5 million people, or 97.7% of eligible voters. It's not just overall voter numbers. The number of Indigenous Australians enrolled is at its highest ever at 94% of eligible voters. And for younger voters aged 18 to 24, it's also at an all-time high of 91% of eligible voters. There are literally millions of people, in fact, nearly 8.5 million, who will be voting in a referendum for the first time. Most were too young or not even born at the time of the last referendum in 1999. There are also 1.7 million voters who are new to the electoral roll, and many of these will be new citizens that have come to Australia from overseas. Some others might be of voting age and Australians that have finally gotten themselves onto the electoral roll. Record numbers of Australians are keen to vote. I think that means that Australians really do care about democracy, that Australians value their right and freedom to vote. And I think it also means that Australians care not just about the words of the referendum, but also about how the Constitution operates as a rule book for our government. In the 1999 referendum, Australians were asked to vote on replacing our national head of state and becoming a republic. Here's the quirky thing about Australian referenda. What we vote on isn't an aspiration or a wish. It is a very defined question, exactly as it appears on the ballot paper on the day. At the time of the referendum back in 1999, a vox populi would have shown that most Australians would have been happy to replace the King or Queen of England with an Australian person. But the question on the ballot paper asked Australians to decide if the Queen and Governor-General should be replaced with, and I quote, a president appointed by a 2/3 majority of the members of the Commonwealth Parliament. The no vote won the day. The result of the 1999 referendum does not mean that the majority of Australians support an ageing King or Queen. It meant we rejected that particular model for a head of state put forward in that particular question for that referendum. My point is, you can support the idea but vote against the question on the ballot paper. So, if you vote yes, it might mean you support Indigenous Australians, you support recognition, and you support voice, treaty and truth-telling. But voting yes doesn't have to mean all three. And the crazy thing about how referendums work is that it's entirely possible you can be a no voter and yet still be an avid supporter of Indigenous Australians, still fervently support recognition, but maybe you're not able to vote in favour of this particular model that is the trifecta of voice, treaty and truth-telling. It is possible that what's in your heart isn't an obvious match for what you write on the ballot paper. And don't worry, in Australia, we love a secret ballot. So you can tell anyone anything you like about how you actually voted, and that little secret can stay with you forever. Just as an aside, something I find very odd about our system of compulsory voting is that we don't have enough citizenship education in the high school system. But that's for another time, maybe another video. All right, you've got 2 weeks to get into some research, get talking so that when you vote, you know why you are voting one way or the other. That's all from me today. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and make sure you share your comments below. And also check out our webpage for a bunch of different ways to learn and collaborate with us. I will see you soon. One last thing, shortbread cream today, and I've still got plenty more biscuits that we are yet to explore. Authorised by Wesley of the Centre for Indigenous Training, Albert Street, Brisbane. Sorry about the train noise.